Indian civilization is formed on the banks of the Indus River. Around 2500 BC, an urban civilization was developed in the area of the Indus River, supposedly by the Dravidians. Archaeological sites excavated in the area, such as Harappa and Mohenjodaro, showed they were planned cities with ramparts, streets, and drainage facilities. People at the time used various brass tools, painted pottery, and a writing system, and traded with the Mesopotamian region. By 1500 BC, the Aryans migrated from Central Asia to the north of India and settled in the upper region of the Indus River. By 1000 BC, they advanced as far as the eastern Ganges River. The Aryans had greatly improved their agricultural productivity through the use of iron farming tools and irrigation facilities. The Aryans worshipped natural phenomena that involved the sun, water, and fire, and from their faith in those elements came Brahmanism, whose hymns and religious texts are known as Vedas. Aryans also concurrently created a caste system to rule the people that they'd conquered. India's caste system consists of Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Sudra.
Why did the ancient planned city of Mohenjodaro disappear? A strange thing happened in Mohenjodaro, a city of 40,000 people. They all disappeared, leaving their houses and the entire city behind. Hundreds of years later, even the massive fortress city disappeared without a trace, covered in sand and dust. Later, archaeologists found the city along the Indus River, but they couldn't figure out exactly why the people who lived there had disappeared. It is only speculation that people abandoned the city after suffering a series of floods due to a surge in population and reckless deforestation.
Chinese civilization is formed by the Yellow River. Around 2500 BC, an early form of a state emerged in China, established by people who used bronze tools and built castles. The records also show that the first kingdom, Ha, emerged on the banks of the Yellow River. Around 1600 BC, the Shang Kingdom was established in the middle and lower regions of the Yellow River. People of the Shang dynasty used weapons and utensils made of bronze and a calendar to keep track of the timing for religious rites and farming. The Shang dynasty is characterized by a shamanistic theocracy, wherein the king made important decisions based on divination from the oracle. The results of these divinations were carved onto animal bones or turtle shells, which came to be known as the shell and bone characters, which eventually evolved into the current Chinese characters. Around the 11th century BC, the Zhou kingdom brought down the Shang kingdom and ruled the regions around the Yellow River, with Haojing, today Shan, as its capital. A feudal system was developed during the Zhou for better management of the vast amounts of land. In the meantime, the Zhou kings justified their legitimacy by advocating the mandate of heaven and the principle of benevolent government. These two principles became the fundamental ruling principles for all of the kingdoms that followed in China.
What was the feudal system of the Zhou kingdom? The feudal system refers to a system of governance in which the king directly governs the area of the capital and entrusts the royal family or officials, who are the king's blood ties, to the local land. The feudal lords paid taxes and fulfilled their military allegiance duties by treating the king as a celestial deity, but they enjoyed the same power as the king in the area they ruled. Under the monarch, there were ministers, grandmasters, and servicemen, and this same relationship was established between them. Which country formed the Liaohe civilization ahead of the four major human civilizations? China discovered massive historic sites near the Liaohe River in the 1980s. This is the Liaohe civilization that predates four other human civilizations by 1,000 years. China claims that Chinese civilization was formed by the fusion of the Liaohe civilization and the Yellow River civilization. This means that the people of Liaohe region moved south to create the Yellow River civilization. The Liaohe region was a stronghold of Old Joseon, Goguryeo, and Palhe. Comb-patterned earthenware, stone-mound tombs, stone fortifications with rectangular bastions, lute-shaped bronze daggers and jade discs were found only in Manchuria and the Korean peninsula, but never in China. Comb-patterned earthenware and jade discs discovered at Xinglonghua and Chahai historic sites have the same shape as those found on the Korean peninsula. This broke the belief that the source of Liaohe civilization lies in the Chinese midfield. The pyramid-style stone set burial chamber discovered in Liang, which is an important site of the Hongshan culture, is similar to the burial chambers of the Goguryeo and Baekje. Bear figurines were discovered next to the statue of a goddess in the Liang site, and it is presumed to have connection to the bear totem group from Tangun mythology of Old Joseon. Thousands of stone fortifications with rectangular bastions are scattered throughout the Sanzuodian and Shengxi Mountain that belong to the lower Xiajiadian culture. These stone fortifications influenced Goguryeo and Baekje. The evidence can be found at the fortress Gongsimdon built during the Joseon period.